At CBF, we know that for you to change your body, you need to change your mind. Exercise and eating healthy is only part of the plan. We care about our members as we care about our family, because our members become our family. It is not about competition, but support. It is not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about you defeating your negative self. It is about working together and making the task challenging and have fun. By the end, what matters is not how hard the session was, but that you take control of your mind so you can take control of your body. My name is Sandro Torres, and I'm happy you are part of our family. Welcome to Custom Body Fitness. Welcome everybody to another interview here in Custom Body Fitness. Today we have my friend Justice. She was with us a couple of years before, and then she stopped and then she came back. But this is a special interview, which I'm going to tell you why in a minute, and I'm going to introduce my friend Justice in a minute as well. She started with us, like I said, a couple of years. Then she got pregnant. Then while she was pregnant, she stopped exercising. She delivered, and she come back to us, and now she continue exercising, and she's in her second pregnancy. She's I believe 8 months pregnant, and she exercising this during this pregnancy. And we have a couple questions we're gonna ask her. A lot of myth and doubts that you have out there, so you can either exercise or stop exercising, whatever you feel like. Justice, welcome.
Thank you.
Justice, this is very exciting. Also, my wife, as you probably know, my wife is pregnant. Mm-hmm. But I want to hear your story since you started exercising. So what was the reason that you started exercising?
The very beginning, I just started exercising because I feel like I was getting out of control of my body, and it wasn't where I wanted it to be, and so I wanted to rein that in and be in control of myself.
And you thought by exercising it's a direct way to control your body?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you got pregnant, a baby that you had planned. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. Why you stopped exercising?
So I was exercising until probably about month 2, because you don't find out super early that you're pregnant. And so I found out and kept working out for a month, but I was so tired with that pregnancy, as many people do get in the first trimester, that I stopped for a little bit, and then the whole pandemic happened and everything shut down. And then when it was time to open everything back up, I didn't really feel like I was in my 3rd trimester, and so I didn't really feel like exercising, because again, in the 3rd trimester you get so tired again, and you get so fatigued, and so it's harder to motivate yourself to do those things.
So the reason, if of course, tell me if I'm wrong, okay, if I'm making wrong conclusions. So the reason why you stopped exercising is because you felt tired in the 1st trimester, because it was your first pregnancy and you don't know what to expect. Then you were planning probably to come back, but the whole pandemic happened and you decided not, everything shut down and whatever. And then the last trimester you also got tired, and since you didn't exercise the whole pregnancy, I'm only guessing that you say, I'm just going to have the baby.
Yeah, it definitely gets harder the longer you wait, the longer you don't exercise, it's harder to get back into it.
Okay, and now in your second pregnancy, why did you decide to exercise the whole pregnancy?
Just because I felt like I had a better understanding of pregnancy. I thought I did before during my first one, but now since I've been through it, I really have a personal know-how. And my last pregnancy, I think I gained, like I was telling you, about 50 pounds. And I came back after that pregnancy and was getting to about my pre-pregnancy weight, but hadn't quite gotten there yet. But I knew I didn't want to gain another 50 pounds this pregnancy, and so I wanted to be more active and be more health conscious about this pregnancy.
About this pregnancy. So how much weight have you gained in this pregnancy?
So far, I've gained about 17 pounds.
So 50 to 17 is a big difference.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. You were telling me about it, since I have no experience in this and you teaching me. Tell me about the weight gain itself. Like you split it to me. Like you gain a couple pounds of different things and also fat.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
I think so. For my BMI, according to doctors, you should gain about 20 to 30 pounds in your pregnancy, and that includes the baby, the placenta, the uterine growth, the amniotic fluid, water retention, your breast growth, and your fat stored.
And the baby.
And the baby.
And you also mentioned that your blood flow it's even more.
Yes, you do. Yeah, your blood increases more.
Okay, so not everything that you gain is fat, right?
Right.
But you have to gain some fat.
Yeah, in order to, it stores in you so that you can feed your baby, and then when the baby comes out, it transfers into what you're going to feed the baby then too, with your breast milk.
Interesting. Okay, so there you go. You hear that? It's okay to gain some fine fat during pregnancy. So now tell me about the difference between this pregnancy and the past pregnancy. How will you compare them now that you're exercising before you were not exercising? Do you feel any difference? Do you think exercising is helping you for something? Do you have more energy? Do you think doesn't make any differences?
I feel like my last pregnancy was super easy just because I did whatever I wanted until the last trimester, and then
What do you mean with whatever you wanted?
I kind of ate whatever I wanted, and then I didn't exercise a lot, and and I kind of just let my body do what it was gonna do because I was like, it's okay, I'm pregnant, and like they say, you're eating for two, so you should eat a lot more. But in reality, the recommendation from doctors is you're supposed to eat like 500 calories more a day.
Yeah,
which is like a sandwich.
If you think about it, it does make sense, right? Because for regular human being, you eat between 1,500. What I mean with a regular human being, a person who is full grown,
Yeah.
you eat between 1,500 calories to 2,500 calories. If you're thinking about this little baby, this
Yeah.
little thing doesn't need
No.
the same amount of energy and food that you need.
Yeah.
Not only because it's not as big as you and doesn't have all those tissues that need to be alive, but also it's not in motion and doing all of the things like you're doing, right?
Right.
So keep going.
And so I kind of took you're eating for two to heart because I hadn't researched it much, and I did during my first trimester eat quite a lot, but then throughout my pregnancy it got better, but I still kind of just was relaxed about how I was. And then during this pregnancy, I'm not restricting my eating, but I'm definitely eating healthier and not overeating, and I'm exercising, which I do feel like gives me more energy, and it gives me, I usually start off in the mornings working out, and so if I do that, I feel a lot more motivated throughout the day to do other things.
Okay. Oh, so it does give you more energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think it affects the baby somehow? Some people believe that by you exercising, you may give birth before because you're pushing too hard and it's harmful for the baby and things like that. What would you say about that?
My husband is a big reader, and he did a bunch of research about working out and pregnancy, and just pregnancy in general when we had our first. And there are studies that show that if you work out while you're pregnant, the baby actually gets more blood circulated to it, and it ends up being a healthy, sometimes bigger baby. And then as for the coming early, I think that is true for some people, but I don't have any worries about it because I have a very calm, healthy pregnancy. I would say, like, if you have an atypical pregnancy where you're at risk for a lot of things, probably not the best. And there are some exercises that doctors don't recommend. So the doctors, like, I tell them that I'm exercising, and like a few weeks ago I was coming 4 days a week, and she's like, oh, that's great, and she wasn't worried about it at all. And so I feel like I'm fine. I don't think I'm gonna deliver early.
Okay, perfect. So now, what do you think is something that you can recommend to people when they're pregnant about exercising and eating?
I would say, I mean, don't restrict your eating, obviously, because you're pregnant and you should be giving nutrients to your body and your baby. But it should be good nutrients. You shouldn't be eating unhealthy. Especially if you're eating more, you should be getting those good vitamins in. And as for exercising, I think you should just listen to your body, and that's the same thing that the doctors tell you every single time. If you feel uncomfortable doing something, then don't do it. But if you feel comfortable, then there's no reason not to.
Before, I used to see, I don't know, I mean, in my family and people around me, I used to see that women suffer a lot of back pain when they're pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that on you, and I don't see that on my wife. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think, what do you think is that? You think it's because of the strength that you have? You think it's because of the exercise? What do you think is?
I definitely, in my first pregnancy, I didn't have any at all. This pregnancy, since it's my second, I did have a little bit because your body already knows what to do, and it releases those hormones faster just because it's like, okay, I know what pregnancy is like. And so for a little bit, I did get a little bit of hip pain, but I think that exercising does help it because it does strengthen your muscles, and your muscles hold everything in a little bit together.
Any particular pain, any particular discomfort, anything from exercising?
Not from exercising, no.
Tell me your story. My wife goes to work and she lifts heavy boxes, mm-hmm. and she moves faster, and she's active just like a normal person. I mean, yeah. Just like I see you here exercising, mm-hmm. and people really get very worried about her.
Yeah.
And they say like, don't do that, you're pregnant. And she goes like, I live more in the gym. Right. I'm okay. What's your experience with that? With you being pregnant out there and handling everything like a normal person, because you don't have any limitations, except for, of course, the belly gets in the way, but yeah. It's not something like it gets in the way for everything, right? No. So what's your experience when you live daily life now that you're strong because you exercise?
I'm staying at home with my toddler, and so I'm running around all day with him, but I don't do a lot of heavy lifting. But then on Fridays I do work at a preschool, and so I'm running around with him times 15 more kids. And sometimes we go outside and I'll shovel snow, and everybody's like, oh, be careful, like, don't work yourself too hard. And I'm like, it's okay, I'm bored, I want to do something with my body, like, might as well. And so for a lot of it, I feel like I'm pretty active outside too, mostly because I do have a toddler, and that keeps me running around.
So don't limit yourself. And like you mentioned, right? Listen to the discomforts of your body. Mm-hmm. If you feel like something is discomfort. But let's clarify a little bit of discomfort, because exercising is discomforting,
yeah.
Right? So what would you say what's the difference between shoveling the snow, which is discomforting, it's not fun, to something really discomfort that you should not be doing?
I would say a couple of weeks ago, I think we were doing Romanian deadlifts, and whenever I would do them with the big bar with 45s on each side, my belly would get really tight, and it would just feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I'd have to stretch it out. And so I told you, I was like, I think that I need a little bit less weight, and so we went from the big bar to the little bar, and now it's better. It still works, and I'm still sore after our workouts, but it's not hurting in the moment.
So if I translate that in my knowledge is discomfort of let's talk about the Romanian deadlift that you mentioned. Discomfort of the exercise is you agitated for doing the exercise. You feel your muscles getting tight because you're lifting the weights. That discomfort of the exercise, which is okay to have that. But you feel something different in your body. Your stomach start getting tight. That's where the baby is, and that's not something that you felt before and doesn't feel good.
Yeah. And
that's a discomfort that you should stop.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a sign that this is not right. Okay. Okay, so now I believe the last question. What would you recommend women who are pregnant to do to stay in shape, healthy, and a healthy body weight with all the fat and weight that you have to gain while you're pregnancy? What would you recommend them to do, and what mindset they should have for them to achieve that?
Well, there's a lot of doctor recommendations that I've read about. So you should be active for at least 30 minutes a day, even if it's just going on a walk or on a bike ride. Well, actually, no, you can't ride bikes when you're pregnant. They don't recommend that.
Oh, because of other things?
Yeah, because your balance is off a little bit in pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
But being active 30 minutes a day, even if it's something small, and they don't really recommend starting a new exercise routine when you're pregnant, especially if it's very difficult, but you can always build up to it. But if you're exercising before, there's no reason to stop. You might as well keep going. And it always helps with the postpartum. It helps with recovery so much if you exercise.
Okay, we're gonna do another interview after the post deliver and see what you experience with it. So, and their mindset. What do you think they should be? How they should be setting their mind for them for success during pregnancy and post?
I feel like even if it's hard and even if you don't want to do it, the commitment to it will pay off in the long run. And I feel like the commitment, even if you don't want to do it, just is worth it.
So think about the results.
Yeah.
Think about the things that are going to be worth it even though you don't want to do it.
Yeah, and it's only an hour out of your day, especially if you're here.
Perfect. Thank you, Justice. Really appreciate it. So you hear those tips, everybody. I hope this this special interview with Justice, second baby coming up. What's her name?
Vida Mariana.
Vida Mariana. So thank you so much, Justice. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next interview.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed the content offered here, then I know you will enjoy these books. These are great tools to lead you to successful weight loss, better health, and greater happiness.